Hey guys, Roxy Sims here, and I have another speed build for you today. Today I am building a sorority house. So we can fulfill our sorority sister dreams in the new Discovery University pack. I wanted this sorority house to be just a classic. I want it to be very obvious that this is a sorority house. I wanted it to be the type of house that you think of when you think sorority. I want it to be kind of like every other house, like sorority house that you see in every college-based movie. That is what I wanted to go for, really classic. I mean, if you Google sorority house, this is pretty much the style of house that you're gonna find in all those pictures. So I had to go with that style. I also wanted this house to be kind of bougie, a little fancy. I wanted this to be kind of like an upper middle class kind of sorority where pretty much everyone that is in this sorority have money, so I wanted to go a bit fancy with it, not as extravagant as some of the sororities that I have seen, but kind of up there. So basically a place that you would never see me at, because I have never had money, and I don't see myself as a sorority kind of person. Not that there's anything wrong with sororities, it's just, I don't know, I think you have to be a little more social than me to want to be in a sorority. So yes, the complete opposite of what my college experience would be, that's what I wanted this place to be. When I think of sororities, I really think of just tradition. It's so traditional, and for that reason, I decided to base this sorority in the University of Brightchester rather than Foxbury Institute. To be honest, I'm not even quite sure how popular sororities are anymore. I know still people are in them quite a lot, but what I'm not sure about is if these new modern colleges do them anymore. Do they? I have no idea. If you know, please let me know, because I like learning, and I have no idea. But anyways, I just think of sororities as being super traditional, so I went with, Brightchester University, but I didn't put a whole lot of University of Brightchester items in it. So if you did want to make this for Foxbury Institute, it would be very easy to just change the swatches on just a couple of the posters and whatnot. It wouldn't be a lot of work, so you can definitely change it if you want to. It could also work for Foxbury Institute as well, because I did not put this on campus. This is just in the town area of Brightchester, so it could be for either one. I decided I didn't want to. I'm making a sorority house and a frat house, and I wanted them to be next to each other, and so that's why I put it in the town. And as you might have noticed, the lots in town are actually very small. They're only 20 by 15, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that might be the smallest lot that we have in The Sims, period. So I did think it was going to be a bit of a challenge to fit huge sorority and a huge frat house on such a tiny lot, but I think I did okay with it. I was just trying to be really smart about it. Of course, there's shared rooms, upstairs and things like that. So yeah, they're as big as I could possibly make them on such a small lot. I wanted to put the sorority house and the frat house right next to each other because I thought that would be some fun stories to play out. They could get into a lot of shenanigans together. So I thought, yeah, they have to be right next to each other. That would be way too much fun not to have. So yeah, so much fun. So many shenanigans. But as you can see on the screen, I am making this really traditional, really fancy, very traditional wallpaper, a fireplace. And what was so fun about it was I was making this very pretty, and then the frat house is going to be complete opposite. it is like a party house kind of place. So that's where all the big parties are. And I didn't make it too like trashed on the outside because I assume that Brightchester University isn't just going to let any old frat, be a part of their university. So I thought, they have to keep their standards up a little bit so the outside doesn't look too filthy, but the inside is really gross. So I went straight from building this very pristine sorority, hoity-toity kind of place, and then going into that really grungy, nasty frat house. It was a lot of fun. I always love building the extremes, so yeah, I had a great time building these two. When I decided that I was going to make a sorority house, I started looking at pictures of real sorority houses, and guys, I cannot believe the luxury of some of these sorority houses. It's insane. Some of these sororities are literally in straight up mansions, and when you look at the pictures of the interior, you know for sure that someone has hired an interior decorator to just make everything so picture perfect in there. So, that is the vibe that I was going for. I definitely do put more of the individual's personality, so the individual girl's personality in their bedrooms upstairs. But in the downstairs, I wanted it to kind of feel like it was an interior designer who put all this together, and I wanted it to feel really cohesive and the same kind of colors throughout. I went with a light pink, black, and white color scheme throughout the downstairs, and it's not every day that I get to use this marble, black and white checkered style flooring. It's not that cheap linoleum black and white checkered style flooring. It's like the fancy version of that. It's a marble or stone of some kind. So yeah, I don't get to use that very often, so I thought it worked really well. In this particular house, it kind of has an Art Deco styling to it that I was really digging, so I thought it worked really well here. And rather than putting desks in all the bedrooms upstairs, those take up lots of room, so I decided to put this little office downstairs where they can get all their homework done and leave a little more room for other activities in the bedrooms. We need the floor space for activities, you guys. So, since this is a very traditional kind of house, and I wanted this to be kind of an old house as well, if you know anything about old houses, they are not very open concept. Was not really a thing back in the day. So I wanted these rooms to be kind of closed off and only a little bit open concept where you just have an archway leading from room to room. That is the traditional way of doing things, so that's what I went with for this build. One of the things that I am most excited about with this pack is that they have added roommates, which I love, and you can have up to 9 roommates. So there can be 10 Sims living in one house, and if you just are controlling one Sim, you can have 9 other roommates, and that is really, really cool. And you can even have kind of like, like an apartment. You can kind of make your own apartment or make semi-detached homes, and lots of options are available with this new feature. And that's kind of what makes, this kind of building possible. So if you have your one Sim, you can have 9 other people, and I have it to where there are 10 beds in this house, so you can completely fill it up if you so wish. I also do think, though, that it would be crazy fun but crazy difficult if you decided that you were just gonna make the entire sorority. So you could make 8 individual Sims and just play all of them in this house. Think of how difficult that would be to try to manage 8 different Sims going to university all at the same time. That would be nuts. But hey, some people like to play that way, like to play it in a really difficult way and have lots and lots of things to do. So, that'd be the way to do it. If you're into any sort of challenge, that would be a challenge. If you play it that way, of course, you'll have a couple extra beds that aren't being used. But I did put in the sorority and the frat house, I did want to have 10 available beds, just in case you wanted to use the roommate system, which I definitely can't wait to try that out. I did manage to get 3 bathrooms into this build, so I do think that will be enough for all 10 people, hopefully. Fingers crossed. It's the same in the frat house as well, 3 bathrooms in there. I can't wait to show you guys the frat house. Can you tell? Can you tell I'm so excited to share it with you? I will pretty much just go, finish recording the voiceover for this and immediately go record the voiceover for that as well, because that one is... I totally did it out of order. I just did 2 builds in a row because I was so excited to do both the sorority and the frat that I did both of the builds, and then I'm like, oh, I'll edit and do the voiceovers later. But I'm pretty much immediately going to do that, so you will be seeing that video very soon. Then I have another opposites dorm that I am building for you, and then I'm not quite sure what to do after that. Maybe a Brightchester cafe? Not sure. I'm also considering building the Foxbury Commons next, so I can't decide which one I want to do. If you have any preference, let me know. So I've started working on the upstairs, the bedroom level, and I always really like putting lots of personality into the bedrooms. That's one of my favorite things. I don't know why I like it so much, but I always try to imagine what kind of person would be living in this bedroom and inject all the personality that I possibly can into the bedrooms. So one bedroom I have, it's kind of artsy. They're the artsy ones out of the sorority. Then I have kind of fashionistas and makeup, super into makeup. And then I have a room where maybe one of them is into gardening, so they have a bonsai tree in there. And then one is really into classical music. I have kind of a sports room, so these girls are maybe there on some sports teams, some soccer. So yeah, I just like amping up the personality in the bedrooms. But I wanted all the bedrooms to have kind of the essence of, these are people with money. So some of the furniture does have that kind of classic college vibe to it, but I also wanted some of the furniture to be a little nicer as well. I figured these people have plenty of money to be buying all the nice furniture. And while all of downstairs is mostly pink, I did want to add a few more colors upstairs, but I did stick with pastels. So these are all kind of more muted tones in the bedrooms. There are a couple more bright colors, but I wanted it mostly to be muted and classy-ish. The bedrooms were feeling a bit too small for my liking, so here in a moment you'll see that I make the hallway a bit smaller and expand the bedrooms, and I like the way the bedrooms feel a lot better once I expand them. The kind of upstairs hallway that is in this house always reminds me of just the fanciest thing ever. Where it has, it's open to the downstairs in the middle, and then you walk around the railing to get to each room. That seems so fancy to me. I don't know. Only the fanciest of houses that I've ever been in have anything like that. So anytime that I make a house with one of those in it, I'm like, ooh, so luxurious. I'm not quite sure if I will play out a storyline in this sorority house, but if I do, I think a really fun one to play out would be a young woman, and both of her parents went to the University of Brightchester, and they're both her mom's a doctor and her dad is a lawyer, and her dad really, has his own firm, and he wants her to work there as well when she graduates, and so he's putting a lot of pressure on her to do really well, and he pretty much made her go to this college. And maybe her mom was a part of this sorority, so lots of pressure on her to do very well in this sorority and in this university, and that she pretty much has her whole life planned out for her, when she graduates, and maybe she goes a little wild in college, because of all the pressure, And I think that would be really a fun storyline, and I just might have to try it out once I'm finished building all of the things that I want to build in Brightchester. One storyline that I'm for sure going to be playing out, because I just finished making a sim for this storyline, and I kind of fell in love with her. So I made this sim. She's pretty edgy. She's got piercings and tattoos, and she has some acting experience, but she's going to school to, fulfill her acting career. She's going for drama, and I think it's kind of like what I would want if I were to go back to school, because I really wanted to be an actor when I was younger, much younger. It's not really entirely realistic for everyone to become an actor, but when I was a kid, that's what I really, really wanted to do. I realized at a very early age, though, that being a famous actor has a lot of downfalls. There are a lot of things that I wouldn't really like, so, I gave that up pretty quick. It's like, I don't know if that's really for me, but if we lived in some sort of fantasy land where being a famous actor had all the benefits and none of the downfalls, then being an actor would be pretty cool. I just like the acting part. That's really fun for me. I was in like every play in school, and so, in some sort of fantasy land, going to college for drama would be, that'd be way up there in the things I would want to do. So that's kind of the storyline that I'm going with for the sim that I made. And I think that'll be fun to play out. I always like to live vicariously through my sims. I don't think getting 1 degree will be enough, though, because a term is only 5 days, and you can kind of lengthen it if you only take 1 or 2 classes per term, because you need 12 to graduate. So I might have to go back a couple times. I don't know. I think I'm going to have so much fun with it that I'll have to get multiple degrees. Maybe I'll try out a few different storylines. Maybe I'll make a sim for this sorority house and do a couple different things with it. But I can't wait to try it. I know it's going to be so fun. Oh, guys, I did want to mention, before Discovery University came out, I made a Brightchester bowling alley. And I made it real British-style pub kind of thing. But I made it before Discovery University came out. And it's a little too big to fit on a lot of the community lots that we have in Brightchester. So I'll have to significantly reduce the size. So I was wondering what you guys preferred. If I should pretty much start over and just make it a bowling alley. I don't know. See, the lots are so small, and the lanes, the actual bowling lanes, are so huge that I don't know. I'm considering taking out the bowling lanes altogether and just making it a British-style pub. But I want to get your guys' opinion on it, on how I should renovate that build to make it usable for the Brightchester world. So let me know what you guys think. There's something so calming about the bedroom that I'm working on right now. The colors, I love it. I want that bedroom in real life. I don't want to share a bedroom in real life, besides one with my husband, of course. But that dusty purple tone with the gold accent color and the twinkle lights. Yeah, I want that all in real life. That's how I should redecorate my bedroom. So guys, I was wanting to tell you also about the other plans I have for some of the lots. I was thinking that I could build a restaurant, because I like a restaurant in every single world. So I thought a good restaurant for Brightchester that would be great for college students was like a really modern vegan restaurant. You know, because I think we got avocado toast, and so I gotta have a place to get some avocado toast as a college student. So I think a really modern kind of place to go to for that would be really cool. And I'll have to fit it in somewhere. I do think that I am going to change the university housing lot that is in the, like, on the campus of the University of Rochester. I do think I am going to change that into a community lot, because I just like for there to be lots of things for my Sims to do. So I've got a couple of them to choose from, but I'll be thinking of that. So what do you think of that kind of restaurant? Or do you have a better idea for a restaurant? I would like to know your opinions. And for the Brightchester Cafe that I was thinking about, I was thinking a very mom and pa kind of cafe where, like, as a place that the students could come and maybe have like a study group kind of place. So some good tables and whatnot. But I was thinking that the owner of it could be kind of like a little old lady who is very motherly to all these young college students. I think they'd be super cute. So that's what I was thinking for the cafe. Here in a little bit, you will see me start to work on the outdoor area. And like I said earlier, these lots are very, very small, 20 by 15. So I didn't have a lot of room for any kind of yard, but I did want to have a space for at least a little bit of outdoor activity. So I just end up putting like a little back porch onto the place. Not a whole lot to it, just, you know, a picnic table and a little grill and a couple seats. So just a little place to spend some time outdoors. It'll be the same thing with the frat house as well, about the same size back porch. But on their back porch, I put a hot tub because, you know, a party house, gotta have a hot tub of some kind, right? It's a questionable hot tub. Like, should you get in the hot tub? Probably not, but it's gotta have one nonetheless. I forgot to mention earlier, too, that I love that we can now extend the columns. This has been something I've been waiting for so long, and it just so happens that, you know, these style of sorority houses always have those really tall columns. So guys, I am very, very happy about the new columns that we have. Well guys, we are pretty much finished with this build. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I hope to talk to you all again very soon. Bye everybody!